And we are back on the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger Show, giving you all your mortgage and real estate news. No fake news here. This is what's going on from two professionals that are in the trenches every day of the week, helping people get their houses sold, bought, get the mortgage done, giving great service, helping people all the way through the process, because you can't do it with an algorithm. You can't do it on a website. You can't buy a book. You can't read about it. That's my next thing here. I've got some emails asking me about one of the most important parts of the process. I'm buying a new home. Should I skip the building inspection? No, never. I mean, any transaction or anybody that's ever called into the radio show saying, I've got a major problem with my house, whether it was new or resale, it's because they skipped the building inspection. They didn't want to spend the $400 or $500, or they skipped the septic inspection for $300, or they skipped the termite inspection and there was something else going on. You definitely have to get the look at the house. Now, in this hot market, I haven't had anybody really waive inspections. I haven't had anybody walk.
Some waive appraisals, but inspections, I don't know any reason why you would want to.
I just don't think you would. Now, if you got 20 offers, it's a house of your dreams, and you just say, all right, whatever's wrong with it, I'll fix it. But really, most homes are built pretty well, unless it's been abused and abandoned, or a hoarder house for 20 years.
Settlements. If you
and I just don't see that happen in Central Florida. I mean, I've only had probably a couple contracts canceled over inspections where the seller didn't disclose, which they should have, and they knew. So what else are they hiding? Or I've seen something just totally neglected. 50 years old, the termites are holding hands to keep the roof up. I'll never forget, the building inspector was up doing the jig on the roof, and the roof is swaying back and forth because the termite damage was so bad. So, yeah, we had the buyer. The buyer actually came back later on. The buyer walked, and then it didn't sell. The buyer came back and said, well, give me $50,000 off, and I know I can fix that for that amount. Right. And we did it. So things usually get worked out. So building inspectors are not deal killers. They're insurance on what you need to know about the home and the major systems and how to maintain it and what might be coming down the pipe at you. Because people don't want to lay out their savings, lay out 3%, 5%, or 10% down payments, and then get hit with this, or all the money they just brought from another home. So, and the other email I got was on somebody talking about probate real estate. They just inherited a house and they want to know what to do with it, because it's got a tenant in it. Dad passed away, sadly, and he owned a couple rentals, and there's tenants in them, and they're out of state. So I'm stepping in to help manage those while they work through probate to get them set up to be sold. So, and I go right in, and of course the tenants are like, well, we don't have to pay rent. He died. I'm like, oh, yes, you do, because we'll evict you. So you need to.
We don't have to pay rent because he's dead.
Yes, because they're thinking that's what I got out of one of them. So, brother, these are the kind of things I solve.
That's why they're renters.
I handle these problems and make sure the estate is making money until it can be cleared up. And then maybe one of the relatives will want to keep the rentals. I don't know, but if not, we'll jump in and help get it ready for sale and assess any problems there might be. I've taken over some rentals, and there was some neglect and some maintenance issues need to be done to keep the tenant happy. There were some tenant issues where the tenant's not paying. Well, if that's the case, get them out. You can't, don't know where you're going to stay, but you can't stay here.
That's right.
So if you need any help with any of these things, call me at 407-352-8118. And Bruce, you had some new loan limits.
I've got some really cool news that I've been dying to get out here. So first things first, Fannie Mae has given us a gift. Fannie and Freddie, the purchasers of mortgages in the secondary market. Fannie and Freddie are the entity that establishes all of the guidelines for conventional loans, and they purchase the most mortgages in the secondary market. That's how they're traded on Wall Street. But besides that, they set the rules, they set the loan limits. So the loan limit was $543,000. They just raised it to $625,000 for a loan limit on a conventional loan. That is remarkable.
Yeah.
That's remarkable. So now I want to put this in perspective. Anything over 625 becomes a jumbo, or what's called non-conforming loan. I have great jumbos. I'm going to talk to you about them in a minute. However, think about this, Cleve. You now can purchase a home, owner-occupied, at $658,000 and put 5% down.
Wow.
5% down brings you to $625,000, $33,000 down payment to buy a $658,000 house. That's almost $660,000.
That and let me tell you, that's a lot of house in Central Florida. That's a lot of house.
You're getting a lot of house. And here's the thing. Some people say, well, why would I do that? I have 20% to put down. Okay, put 20% down. But when you're looking at the difference Okay, so there, if you put 20% down, that's going to be another $100,000, right?
Yep.
It's about $100,000 more.
Yep.
How much is $100,000 making you in the market right now at 7.5%,
Yep.
15%, 20%?
Yep.
Well, if you're making even 10% on $100,000, you're making $10,000 a year in interest
Yep.
alone.
Yeah.
It's going to way pay for itself by putting 5% down rather than 20. But we have the options for any one of those. Great news on conventional loans. Then we created a very unique program.
When you say we, you mean CrossCountry?
CrossCountry Mortgage created a very unique program to help out the folks that want to buy higher than that. So jumbo loans require 20% down, right?
Yep.
You want to get a good jumbo loan, it's 20% down. No PMI. But we came up with a program, jumbo loan, up to $1.5 million, 3.5% down, no
What?
PMI. No PMI.
That's ridiculous.
3.5%. It's like an FHA loan with no PMI.
What's the rate?
You know what? Here's the shocking thing. Remember, no PMI. PMI on a $1 million loan would cost you
$700-800 a month. Yeah.
Cost you $850 a month. However, and they weren't even available. Like you couldn't even get them. Now, no PMI, still rates in the threes. Okay,
Shut the front door.
No kidding. I am in the threes, and I can't quote rates on the radio because as rates change, I have to give APRs and closing costs.
This makes, because what most people do, I mean, you're right, somebody that sophisticated. Now, if it's a jumbo, they got to have a couple years assets, like a couple years reserves and things like that.
The clincher to this one, and the thing that makes it, the only thing that could make it a challenge is that you're required to have 24 months reserves on the PITI payment, where you only need 6 to 12 months on a standard jumbo. So the reserve requirement is greater, but look at the risk level that we have lending a loan at 96.5%.
So that person's going to have, they're going to have a portfolio.
They need to show me they have the money, but
Yeah.
it could be in a 401k, it could be in an IRA,
Yeah.
it could be liquid. You just don't have to put the money down. You just got to show me that you've
And they got a good credit score.
24
it's
months
not a
reserve.
590 credit score.
No.
I have a feeling if you have a 590 credit score, they don't have $1 million.
Scores over 700. Come on, 700. You know your average credit score is about 710 to 725.
Yeah.
That's not considered a
People
great
always
score.
I laugh when I hear these commercials about let's pay somebody to help us get our credit right. Let me give you a hint. Pay all your bills on time. Your credit score goes up.
And keep your credit card balances low.
Yep.
407-250-9144. Stop the car. Put the brakes on. Pull the lawnmower over. Stop the vacuum cleaner. Put the laundry down and write down this phone number, 407-250-9144. Share that with your friends and family. I've got the loans. You got your new conventional loans. Other lenders don't even start that new conventional 625 loan limit till January 1st. That when it comes into play, I'm already doing it. And I've already got my PMI organized so you can do PMI for minimum down on those as well. WeBringYouHome.com. That's WeBringYouHome.com. Listen, here's another thing, Cleve. You and I love helping our folks on our home program, Home Ownership Made Easy, for first responders, law enforcement, educators, and healthcare workers. And we have all these programs available, but the great thing and the secret sauce to that with Cleve and I is we have a program where we will contribute up to $2,160 or $2,198 toward your closing costs, and Cleve and his team can match that as long as the purchase price is over, or the loan amount is over $250,000.
Yep.
So if you fall into that sector, stop spending money that you don't need to. We have the programs available for you. Cleve, what's your number?
407-352-8118. Remember, chances are one of those rooftops on your street, I help sell it or buy it.
Yep. So we've talked a little bit about the new loan limits. We talked about my jumbo program. We've talked about your listings. I love those listings you have right now. If you are thinking about a property and you need some acreage, call Cleve. He's got a couple of great properties available. We talked about refinances.
Vacant land, though, we want to talk about this because sometimes you talk about new construction, but sometimes people can't. They don't want to be in a subdivision. They want to be out in the country. They want an acre or two. Maybe 3, and most of the time it's funny. They don't have a bunch of horses. They just want nobody to bother them. They want the HOA, the nosy neighbor, saying, hey, you got some dandelions in your front lawn and change the color of your curtains. You want to be out in the country. You've got a construction perm
Correct.
with not a lot of money down.
I do. I have a construction perm. You could get into a conventional loan with 10% down. I've got FHA loans with 5% down, and I have VA loans with 5% down, and you can build your own custom or semi-custom home. And here's the thing, Cleve, some folks, they don't want to be in an HOA.
Yeah.
Right? You can't put your jet ski in the side yard.
Yeah.
You can't park the work truck in the driveway.
Yep.
So some folks just want that freedom to be able to stretch out a little bit, but they don't know how to do it because the programs for construction perms were so restrictive. Now,
Well, I mean, up until 4 or 5 years ago, they were 20% down. Most of them, weren't
most
they?
of them still are.
You had to own the lot, and they just went away.
If you already own your lot on a conventional loan, I'll give you all the lot value. On an FHA or VA loan, if you've owned it less than 1 year, the value is what you've paid for it. If you've owned it more than 1 year, it's worth whatever it's worth. So that's all down
That's
payment.
equity, yeah.
That's equity into the deal, right?
It can be done. I just sold 2 10-acre lots in Sorrento. I've got 12 acres available. I've got some smaller ones available. They're out there. It's just finding them, and then what part of town do you need to be in? And a lot of people working remotely now. A lot of people, I talk to some friends of mine, they're not going back in the office.
No.
You know, they're corporate.
So now you can live in the country as long as you can get the internet web.
Yep.
You're good to go, right?
Get on the interweb. That's right.
You gotta get the
but
interweb.
If you can find it, I mean, we can find you land around there. It's getting tougher and tougher to find, or you got to go further out.
Yeah, but listen, all you got to do is take a plane ride somewhere, and you're going to see how much land we have. We got tons of land. There's plenty of land. But speaking of the interweb, we are having an interweb Zoom wealth building class on October the 20th at 6 p.m.
Yep.
You must register at WeBringYouHome.com. Now, here's the deal about Cleve and I's wealth building class. It's called Retire as a Millionaire. Now, we will show you how we will walk you through the process simply and easily. And you don't have to pay $1,500 to come to this webinar. You don't have to pay it. Most companies that sell you a product or a system on buying property and amassing wealth, they charge you huge amounts of money. How much are we charging for this event?
Zero.
No. Why are we doing that?
Because people will enjoy working with us. They see we know what we're doing, and they send us their friends and family.
I think you're right about
That's
that.
how I've been doing it for 30 years.
It's worked so far?
Yep.
So far, we're doing okay.
Yep.
So we're going to share with you our failures, our successes, we created ground rules for what we do within the wealth building program because sometimes you guys are all in, like, I'm into it.
Everybody thinks they want to be different. We know what works.
Right?
Don't be different.
And
just
then
listen
they'll
to
call
what we
and go,
say.
I found this great 2-1. No, you're not buying a 2-1. I found a
Condominium.
great condo.
Yeah, condo.
No, you're not doing a condominium
In the middle of nowhere.
program.
Yeah.
Right? We are trying to build wealth. We're not. This is not a charity.
We're
event.
not trying to, trying to hit a home run one time. This is about 4 singles and doubles.
Right.
And paying those off, and just strong and steady is what works.
Strong and steady,
and it's just basic. It's just basic math.
And the nice thing about it is you're going to get filthy rich doing this, and other people are going to be putting the money in your bank account. Here's the thing: I don't care if you're able to save $100,000 a year. Do the math and find out how much money you have in retirement.
Yeah.
Then do the math on buying property and own 5 properties, and you'll triple the amount of income that you'll have.
Just about,
and triple the amount of wealth that you'll make. So 407-250-9144 for the Loan Arranger. That's 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com. You can apply online there. Easiest online web application process ever. And you can register for the event. You must register in advance for Cleve and I's Leapfrog program, Wealth Building, because it will fill up. And if you'd like to reach Cleve or his team.
That's right. In fact, I just got some people emailing me talking about problems with their properties they're managing. You can call me. They have some tenants pulling this COVID stuff, saying, "Oh, we can't evict them." I'm like, "Yes, you can. I've gotten evictions done."
Over.
And so, there's still some loopholes people try and get through, but there's ways to get them out. And it's all about having a tough property manager. 407-352-8118. Give me a call.
Yeah, and Cleve, it's such a beautiful Saturday today. Everybody's out looking at property. Everybody's working around
to the air show.
What's that?
Going to the air show at Sanford Airport.
Going to the air show, yeah, that's right. And it's Biketoberfest right now. So we'll be heading over to the boat. I will be doing my show tomorrow, so you can tune in to the Loan Arranger radio show on Sundays at 11 o'clock. But Cleve, you and I will come back for one more segment today. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger radio show.